Inflation, that elusive beast stalking the economic savannah. We hear its roar in the rising price of bread, the ever-increasing cost of fuel. But what do we really know about inflation? The media, with its sound bites and headlines, often presents a simplified, even misleading narrative. Today, at B&R Blueprint, we journey to uncover the truth about inflation. We'll delve into the complex web of factors that contribute to its rise, separating fact from fiction. Did you know, for instance, that the United States experienced its highest inflation rate during the Revolutionary War, reaching a staggering 30% in a single year? Join me as we navigate the treacherous terrain of economic misinformation and emerge with a deeper understanding of this powerful force. Our first misconception takes us to the heart of government policy. It's tempting to lay the blame for inflation solely at the feet of government spending. A tempting narrative, but is it the whole story? While excessive government spending can indeed fuel inflation, it's crucial to recognize the multifaceted nature of this economic phenomenon. Supply chain disruptions, like those witnessed during the recent global pandemic, can constrict the flow of goods, driving up prices. Moreover, corporate pricing strategies, often driven by the pursuit of profit maximization, can also contribute to inflationary pressures. Remember, the economic ecosystem is complex, and attributing inflation to a single cause is akin to saying the lion is solely responsible for the African savanna. The claim that wage increases are the primary driver of inflation is a narrative often repeated. But is it accurate? Workers understandably strive for higher wages, especially during periods of rising prices. However, data suggests that wages have struggled to keep pace with inflation in recent times. In many cases, real wages, adjusted for inflation, have actually stagnated or even decreased. This suggests that other factors are playing a more significant role in driving up prices. Commodity prices, for example, can have a ripple effect throughout the economy. From the wheat used to bake bread to the oil that fuels our cars, fluctuations in commodity prices impact the cost of living for us all. Inflation is often portrayed as the boogeyman of economics, a harbinger of doom and gloom. But what if I told you that moderate inflation could actually be beneficial in certain circumstances? Imagine a country burdened by high levels of debt. Moderate inflation, while increasing prices, can also erode the real value of that debt over time. This can provide governments with some breathing room to invest in infrastructure, education, or healthcare. Furthermore, a small dose of inflation can encourage spending and investment. After all, if prices are expected to rise, consumers may be more inclined to make purchases today rather than delay gratification. The Federal Reserve, with its ability to manipulate interest rates, is often seen as the ultimate arbiter of inflation. While the Fed wields considerable influence, it's crucial to recognize the limits of its power. Monetary policy, like a skilled conductor guiding an orchestra, can influence the tempo of the economy, but it cannot control every instrument. Global economic forces such as supply chain disruptions or fluctuations in commodity prices can exert powerful inflationary pressures that even the most adept central bank cannot fully contain. Think of it this way. The Federal Reserve is playing a high-stakes game of chess, anticipating and reacting to a constantly evolving board. Our final misconception is perhaps the most insidious, the notion that inflation affects everyone equally. The reality is far more nuanced. Imagine a family living paycheck to paycheck. For them, a sharp rise in the cost of essential goods like food and fuel can be devastating. Conversely, those with assets like real estate or stocks may find that inflation actually increases their wealth in nominal terms. This disparity in impact highlights the regressive nature of inflation, often hitting the most vulnerable segments of society the hardest. It's like a rising tide that lifts some boats while leaving others stranded on the rocks. So, there we have it, a glimpse into the complex and often misunderstood world of inflation. We've seen how the media, in its pursuit of simplicity, often perpetuates misleading narratives. But by arming ourselves with knowledge, by understanding the multifaceted nature of this economic force, we can become more discerning consumers of information. Remember, the next time you hear someone claim that inflation is solely caused by government spending, Think of the intricate web of factors at play. And with that, I leave you with a final question. Which country experienced a period of hyperinflation so extreme that its currency became practically worthless, leading to the use of alternative forms of money like cigarettes? Inflation is not just a local phenomenon, it has a ripple effect that can be felt across the globe. When major economies like the United States or the European Union experience inflation, the impact is often felt far beyond their borders. For example, countries that rely heavily on imports from these regions may find themselves paying higher prices for goods, exacerbating their own inflationary pressures. Conversely, when these major economies tighten their monetary policies to combat inflation, it can lead to capital outflows from emerging markets, causing financial instability. Furthermore, global supply chains mean that inflation in one part of the world can quickly spread to others. An increase in the price of raw materials or shipping costs can lead to higher prices for finished goods everywhere. This interconnectedness makes it crucial for policymakers to consider the global ramifications of their actions. So, as we navigate the labyrinth of inflation, let's not forget its global dimensions. It's a reminder that in our interconnected world, economic policies and their outcomes are rarely confined within national borders. Understanding this can help us better prepare for and respond to the challenges that lie ahead. As we look ahead, predicting the future of inflation involves a mix of economic insight and strategic foresight. Economists and policymakers use a variety of tools and models to forecast inflation trends, taking into account factors like technological advancements, demographic shifts, and geopolitical developments. One emerging trend is the increasing role of technology in shaping inflation. Automation and artificial intelligence could lead to significant changes in labor markets and productivity, potentially impacting wage growth and price levels. Another important factor is the growing influence of climate change on the economy. As extreme weather events become more frequent, they can disrupt supply chains, reduce agricultural yields, and increase costs for businesses and consumers. Policymakers are also exploring new strategies to manage inflation. Central banks are considering innovative monetary policies such as targeting average inflation rates over longer periods to provide more flexibility in responding to economic shocks. Ultimately, navigating the future of inflation will require a combination of vigilance, adaptability, and collaboration. By staying informed and proactive, we can better anticipate and mitigate the challenges that lie ahead. Until next time, Blueprinters, stay informed. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on economics and finance.